Internal officials in Zanu PF, power struggles in the opposition, business partners selling each other out. It's been a comedy of errors and high drama in the past week. Welcome to the News in Brief. I am Gaddafi Wells. Join me after this break as we explore the news in greater detail. Police have been put on high alert with members of the opposition if they attempt to demonstrate or protest ahead of President Emmerson Mnangagwa taking the top SADC post in August. Government said it had gathered intelligence of attempts to destabilize Mnangagwa's government, but Information Minister Jennifer Muswere said these will be matched.
The government has observed attempts to instigate anarchy and despondency by some criminal and opportunistic elements in the opposition movement, some politicians, and some civil society organizations. This is in line with their well-documented modus operandi, where they seek to raise funding to try to resurrect their political careers through subverting the will of the people. Therefore, as government, we want to warn the perpetrators of these serial choreographed theatrics who are involved in subversive activities aimed at undermining the rule of law, that their days are numbered, and that their lawlessness plans will never see the light of the day. I repeat, that their lawlessness plans will never see the light of the day. To this end, the government of Zimbabwe reaffirms its commitment to protecting the nation, the citizens, by ensuring that law and order prevails. Law enforcement agencies will not hesitate to apprehend all those who undermine the justice delivery systems and cause chaos and mayhem. Finally, the government of Zimbabwe would like to assure all members of the public that the security forces have adequate capacity to maintain law and order in terms of the constitutional mandate.
CCC Deputy Spokesperson Ostalos Siziba, excited by the demonstrations in Kenya, appears to think the same will be replicated in Zimbabwe. He warned Mnangagwa street protests are looming. However, Mnangagwa responded saying his security is ready to deal with the chaos.
Message yangu ya kupezira to Zanu PF and all the headmasters of chaos. Musa provoka vanhu. Nekuti kana tazo decide to invoke section 59 of the Zimbabwean constitution, toshandisa these trees as a point of entry to reject our displays.
Falsehoods and instigating acts of civil disorder, especially before, possibly during and after regional and world stage events which are going to be held in this country. The Zanu PF-led government will not tolerate any form of destabilization in our country.
It is burning hot in Zanu PF as succession wars have begun to gnaw into the soul of Zanu PF and turning the heat on President Emmerson Mnangagwa. The leader of the ruling party came guns blazing at the party Politburo meeting where he read the Riot Act on his appointees. In half of his speech, President Mnangagwa lectured his peers on party rules and guidelines.
The noises emanating from some quarters of the war veterans are of concern. The leadership of the war veterans and the Secretary of the War Veterans League and other critical stakeholders are once again directed to make concerted efforts to close the fissures within the grouping, which is a strategic entity to both our party and our country. Let us remain vigilant and on guard against the various forms of infiltration by the enemy. We must never betray our revolution or dishonor the ultimate sacrifice paid by the many sons and daughters of the soil who fought for our freedom and our independence.
President Mnangagwa appears to be feeling the heat which is coming from war veterans who are demanding he dissolves cabinet and his Politburo so as to accommodate war veterans who were sidelined after the coup.
Mnangagwa, right? Navachiwenga, and right? Ngawa dissolve Politburo. Tikwane is what is true. Ngawa dissolve cabinet. You know, Zembe, Vana Soda, Vadan, how much do you tell about Nikupaniwa? Vanakamba, Vanan, you know, why do you hate your comrades? You know, Kunema general, Kunema retired CIO, Wakawanda, Kunema retired commissioners of police and other senior officers of Wakawanda. Aladiwe.
Brand new top-of-the-range luxurious Range Rovers were on display this week at the High Court of Zimbabwe as judges took delivery of the new toys as part of their conditions of service. The cars, which cost an estimated $140,000 each, were reportedly delivered to the 11 new judges who took oath of office last week. Johan Marange Apostolic Sect members are reportedly now secretly accessing healthcare from hospitals in defiance of their leaders. Many members of the Apostolic Sects have lost their lives after refusing to go to hospital and instead preferring to survive on divine intervention at their shrines. Miriam Magaya gives us the full story.
For many Johan Marange Apostolic Sect members, visiting the hospital is a taboo punishable at times by excommunication from the church. This means that many women, especially when giving birth, have to seek help from church midwives at their shrines. Many women die when they suffer complications.
Ine isusu tinobatsirwa mumba. Kana inini vana vangu ndine 13 chibatsirwa mumba. 3 vakashaya ndine 10 vapenyu. Vese baba hakuna kaenda kuchipatara, andakuzvarwa kuchipatara. Ndakazvarwa futi muchechi imomo. Saka ndinovimba nomuchechi imomo.
This has also spurred government and other civil society organizations into action, with Chivu General Hospital Community Health Nesta Pwachwanga being one of the lead actors in campaigning for universal health access for members of the Apostolic Sects. The institution has more than doubled its campaign to provide access to maternal health among members of the Johan Marange Apostolic Sect, which has resulted in a rise in the number of women seeking medical attention, albeit in secrecy. Special has become a password to preferential treatment, not only for my Ishmael, but for dozens of women of the Johan Marange Apostolic Sect that visit Chivu General Hospital secretly.
Pano pa Chivu Hospital, tinoshanda nemapostori kwa Marange. We've got quite a handful, vanouya Nicodemus, because takakwanisa kupinda mavari vakanzwisisa, especially pakaitika gwirikwiti. So kana vachiuya pano pachipatara vanosvika, kana vakandishaya muno muoffice vanoenda paFamily Child Health Care Department. Paunosvika unongosvika uchitaura kodi yatakavapa, vanongosvika uchiti special. Kana vakangoti special, munhu anotoziva.
Under the cover of darkness, pregnant women now seek Chiwanga's help at the hospital. She said many women from the Apostolic Sect were secretly seeking maternal health care and family planning services.
Takaona kuti tivape makadzi, it would be a controversial issue kudzimba dzavo. So what we did is tinongovapa date. Tinovapa date rekuti review yako iri musi wakati. And most of them, what we are doing, we are not using the tablet. Because tikavapa matablets vanozokwanisa kubatwa nevarume wavo. So we use injectable ndoya tinoshandisa, ndo iri user friendly kwavari.
Church leaders are averse to their congregants visiting health centers for help, instead telling them solutions lie at the shrine. One of the leaders is 67-year-old Grey Chizu of Uchu village in Madamombe area, whose religious title is a rabbi.
Vanototi mai vakazvitakura kune mambuya atinonodaidza emusangano anove ndiwo akanyoresa chero kubva kuChivu kuna Tambire kuti mamai aya namai ari panzvimbo akatoselektiwa kuti anofanira kuzobatsira vana vakadzi kana vakazvitakura paya.
The interventions by government, civil society organizations and individual decisions by some of the pregnant mothers have saved lives of many. Visiting hospital early during pregnancy helps avoid complications. Reporting for HSTV News, Miriam Magaya, Chifu.
PhD leader Walter Magaya has caused a stir in Chitungwiza, where he is reported to be eyeing deals that would give him access to properties owned by council for personal use. Residents associations are unhappy that Chitungwiza municipality signed a memorandum of understanding with the Magaya-owned company Wisma Investments under unclear circumstances. Insiders said the deal will see Magaya's company develop a master plan for the city, and in return, he would get access to vast tracts of land where he intends to build a stadium. The Residents Association in Chitungwiza have since approached the High Court to stop the deal.
The judgment hasn't been passed yet, but it seemed that the minister is forcing our councillors to agree on the business plan that Magaya is bringing without following proper procedures. We understand that the mayor as well as the town clerk and some councillors were called and were told that if they don't agree to sign the Magaya documents to allow him to come and do his investments, they will be replaced by a commission. So right now, their job is at stake and a lot is happening. There's a lot of bribes. There's a lot of things happening. And we don't even know. As Chitres, we are no longer invited at stakeholders meeting because we challenged Magaya. So it's a sad situation that a man of God comes in a town where he was born and dictates that he's coming from the president, he's coming from the minister, and he just demands that he gets what he wants. Even the councillors, they haven't seen the agreement, like getting a hard copy to assess the situation, to assess what he wants and what he will bring back to Chitungwiza. So this is a sad situation, and we are still waiting for the High Court to sit and pass the judgment.
Residents believe the deal has Zanu PF written all over it, accusing local government minister Daniel Garwe of going to bed with Magaya and forcing councillors to no-toe the line. Garwe has dismissed the allegations. In a turn of events, Chivhayo turned the heat on his erstwhile business partners Mike Chimombe and Moses Mpofu, the whistleblowers who have now turned accused persons. The two who opened the Pandora's box on alleged tender manipulation at the Zimbabwe Electoral Commission, but ended up in soup over goats they allegedly never delivered. Many are still asking how and why a $40 million scandal turned into a $7 million goat scandal dating back 3 years ago. Wongai Kawa gives us the full story.
Mike Chimombe and Moses Mpofu will rue the day they decided to take down the self-proclaimed son of President Emmerson Mnangagwa, Chivhayo, over spoils of an alleged Zimbabwe Electoral Commission tender.
Ndakachibata kuti dzvi kwete zvekufungidzira paenda kuItaly ndakasvika kuairport patabatwa roko my son ndiperekedza kusvika padhoo rendege patafamba mured carpet ndakabatwa roko tichitaura saka usana uchidai ichi saka kusvika padhoo apedza kumhoresa vanhu apedza kumhoresa maVPR2 kwakusidzoka I'll phone you when I get to Italy. Goodbye my son. Ashedzera ndege yanga yamutswa. Goodbye my son. I'll call you when I get to Italy. Vandamhoreswa. Saka ndiri mukati sandikuti take advantage of that.
The two businessmen, through leaked letters of complaint to South African company Renform, who had entered a deal with ZEC, demanded 25% of proceeds or they would blow the whistle on alleged money laundering and illegal deals. Chivhayo hit back, dropping the name of President Mnangagwa to beg his clout. Chivhayo, who has been in Mnangagwa's good books, flying in the presidential chopper and doing VVIP photo ops at the airport, hit back.
I'm very disappointed. Ana Chief Jose wakunoudza mumwe wako akadai chino nechino Chief Jose is my best friend from 1992. Ungandidaro shosho kuenda unoshanda na Mupofu ndiri stuck zvandakaita izvi ndikuti vanhu vakandikanya panyaya yembudzi vada kuti vari kundithreatena iwe enda unoshanda na Mupofu. I told you let's do this privately, but you are going all over the show saying all sorts of things, all sorts of threats. Hazvipere mushe hatisi ngozoti simba racho raona rabva rawanda sterek sei. And to be honest, even this is my company printing. To be honest, I'm not even interested. I want us to finish this next week. Then we shake hands. Because this is pointless. I'm saying we are teaching. I have an opportunity. Now
the two are squirming at the mercy of a state which has unearthed a 2021 God scheme and turned it into a scandal of $7 million. The two stand accused of forging tax clearance certificates, receiving over $7.5 million, but only supplying goods worth $300,000. For now, the matter involving ZEC has been put on ice, shelved, forgotten, and playing second fiddle, while that of gods has become the toast of corruption. The lawyers of the accused, who have been happily giving out information, are now silent.
Just a brief comment. The court is a public place. I'm sure we're all there. You witness what happened. We can't give you a comment at this point in time, because proceedings are still in their infancy and we are waiting for whatever happened in court. So can you excuse us for now? We kindly have no comment. We are not going to comment on what happened in court or even on the merits of the case. As we go on, we shall give you our official comments, but at this point in time, my colleague and I have no comment.
A few days before the arrest of Mupofu and Chimombe, the Zimbabwe anti-corruption boss Michael Reza told the public he was after the three men. He only arrested two and spared the son, who for now is silent and plotting his next move. Magistrate Murewa Nazogofa is taking his time to decide on bail, keeping the two in cells over the weekend.
We are proceeding with our bail application. We are still proceeding with the bail application. So people are still testifying the investigating officer.
Chimombe, a Zanu PF Central Committee member, Mupofu, a businessman, might now be rethinking their strategy, which exposed the rot that those with the power wanted to keep under a tight lid. Vongaikawa, reporting for HSTV News, Harare.
The ruling Zanu PF Youth League is unrelenting on Chivhayo and are baying for his head. They are angry over his abuse of President Mnangagwa's name in the alleged ZEC scandal. The youth are clear that it was Chivhayo's audios and they are not doctored.
From our standpoint, not from your standpoint, we have the facts that it's his voice. That's why we produced that later. So we know it's his voice. He knows it's his voice. You know it's not his voice because he said it's not.
No, I don't know. I'm asking.
It's his voice. We know that. We are clear.
Police clashed with CCC supporters at the Harare Magistrates Court as anger mounted against Magistrate Ruth Moyo's decision to deny Jameson Timber and 77 others bail on allegations of attempting to disturb public peace. Ruvarashe Moyo gives us the full story.
Police clashed with hundreds of CCC supporters who demonstrated at the Harare Magistrate Court against a ruling by Magistrate Ruth Moyo denying the CCC leader Jameson Timber and 78 others arrested in Avondale on June 16. In her ruling, Moyo argued that releasing the CCC supporters would undermine the rule of law while jeopardizing the safety of the people and confidence in the police. She then remanded them in custody to 10 July for trial. Lawyers representing the accused persons were unhappy with Moyo's decision. The magistrate in her ruling also averred that the accused person be denied bail because they were facing serious offense that would attack a custodial sentence if they are convicted, and that they were also likely to interfere with the state witnesses. Just a few days after party deputy spokesperson Ostalos Siziva warned Zanu PF they would take to the streets. Many young people came geared for a protest and uses their voices in melody to air their frustrations and discontent at the ruling.
Some of the young boys and young girls who were arrested can have the capacity to interfere with police officers. In fact, there is an allegation that there were threats made against the arresting detail. How can an unarmed civilian, a young person, some of the young...
Moving to their reputation, police came in swinging and punching as they dispersed the demonstrators and journalists who were covering the demonstrations.
The court has decided to deny bail to all our incarcerated champions, and in doing so, they've cited several reasons. Number one was the reason that the accused persons are facing a serious offense, which could attract a custodial sentence. Number two, the court indicated that the accused persons were likely to interfere with state.
Many have argued the courts are now being used as a political battleground, where those in the opposition at the slightest are punished for thinking differently. This has angered the public, who today dared the authorities. In the main, the CCC leader Jameson Timber and 77 will turn to the High Court for prospects of freedom. Reporting for HSTV News and Current Affairs, Varashe Moyo.
Legislators who last parliamentary term received loans of 40,000 United States dollars each are at it again, according to leader of ailing MDC Douglas Mwonzora, who accuses them of conniving with President Mnangagwa to extend his term of office to 2030. Mnangagwa is supposed to cede power to a new president in 2028 in line with constitutional guidelines. However, there appears to be plans intending to extend his term beyond those set out by the law.
Let's now lengthen the term of office of the president. So instead of 5 years, it's going to be 10 years, 7 years. So it's 5 years will end in 2028, the other 2 years in 2030. That is why we have that slogan now, 2030 Day Dishipo. Unfortunately, some members of parliament are agreeing to this because they want to stay in parliament for as long as possible. So you have a major issue that is coming in this country.
We turn to sport with Tinashe Matambo. Zifa speaks on Warriors' confusion.
Thank you, Gaddafi Wauza. Bringing you a sports update as usual. I'm Tinashe Matambo. Zimbabwe national senior men's football team, the Warriors, kick-started their COSAFA Championships Group B assignment with a 1-0 victory over Comoros. Michael Tapera scored the only goal courtesy of a Farai Band assist to end over Zimbabwe. The match needed 3 points. Zimbabwe emerged as the better team of the day with 7 shots on target against the Comoros 3. The record 6-time regional tournament champions will face neighbors Zambia on Sunday at Wolfson Stadium. Zambia fell to Kenya by 2-0. The chaos in Zimbabwe camp failed to dampen the boys' spirit as they went for the win. Just before the match, I spoke to Zifa Normalization Committee Chairman Lincoln Mutasa over preparedness of the boys, and this is what he said.
They are not as prepared as we would have liked, in the sense that they were not able to undertake a local camp or an extended camp while here. The warriors that we have right now, and what I saw in South Africa, are a successful group. And I even told them, in the past we used to have the dream team, but going forward, I saw the real deal. You know, these are the real deal. If we get one or two things, like if we're united as a nation and running behind this group of guys, instead of just looking for the negatives, you'll be surprised what they'll achieve.
In athletics, National Athletics Association of Zimbabwe coach Lisimati Pakamile was full of praises for 6 of his athletes who traveled for the Africa Senior Championships in Douala. Triple jumper Chengetai Mapaya made the nation proud by collecting a silver medal at Japoma City Stadium on Tuesday. Ashley Kamangarira, who had battled for a long-term injury, also hit the semi-finals in 400 meters. It was for women.
Of note, we are proud as a team that amongst all the 54 countries here at the Games, Zimbabwe has managed to pick a silver medal, which is an improvement from the previous results that we got in the last competition in Mauritius, where Zimbabwe managed only to get a bronze medal in the men's 4x100 meter relay. This time around, our seasoned athlete and jumper Chengetai Mapaya did pick a silver medal in triple jump last night at the Japoma City Stadium in Douala, Cameroon. I was quite impressed with Chenge's performance after a long break on injury in his triple jump career. Chenge fought and competed against the defending world champion, who's Fabrice Zango from Burkina Faso, and narrowly lost the competition by just a few centimeters to the world champion jumper event for him. We also have Ashley Miller Kamangirira, who is also participating in the 400 meter hurdles for women. She is also in the finals after a very good performance in a semi-final hit last night. We also want to take this opportunity. Generally, Team Zimbabwe has performed exceptionally well. We had brought in a number of athletes who are fairly new to this level of competition, and I'm quite impressed by how they performed. Amongst all our athletes, we had 6 athletes going into the semi-finals and
It was a dark day for football in Zimbabwe, as the football nation was thrown into mourning following the death of Norman Maroto, who passed away in the early hours of Friday morning after being admitted at a private hospital in Harare. The Football Union of Zimbabwe, where he was working as a communications officer, confirmed the sad news. Mourners are gathered at number 2360 Tinward South, Harare. Maroto played for Gunners and Motor Action as a striker. He was also part of the Kisnet squad called into Dynamos first team after senior players had embarked on a strike. May his DSO rest in eternal peace. That's all for Sports Update with me, Tinashe Matambo. Back to you, Gaddafi.
Now turning to the video of the week, we have Kennedy Mudarakeni, may his soul rest in peace. He is making waves on social media after a video of his funeral went viral. Kennedy had more than 7 wives who took turns to introduce themselves to mourners.
White House, Nungana, Bamkurunya Shavano, Mnangagwa Jay, Mazo, Rascal, Penyari, Continuo Pets. I'm sorry, Mnangagwa Pakati, Nova Pamchari, Fandas, or Chairman Rumon, Angashi Chengeta, and Nachanda Shire, this is I I'm sorry. We didn't cut to a Kennedy or Kudombosha, Chero, Pride, San Avantoshi, Paveto, never tango to Skakumba, so right to Peregan. That's it. I'm sorry. You didn't cut to a Kennedy in the UK.
nehangu paazorwara tachingotaura hedu nemavidhiyo ko ndichionana, asi ndoda kungotenda Kennedy vana vedu vatakaita tu anga achichengeta nabamikinyasha vachibatsira tatakavhura hadhiwedu iri pashowground apa, saka ndoye iri kutoshanda ikuchengeta vana. Ndatenda pamusoro mukadzi waKennedy ndogara kuusaidi tinoshota tine shopu yedu kunzi kuinner city distributors kwaMutare, saka ndasiwa mune vana vangu vaviri, saka ndatenda zvangu. Inini mukadzi waKennedy
This was the news in brief. Join us next week as we continue giving you unmolested quality news here on HSTV. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share our content to support the work that we do. Signing out for HSTV News and the crew behind the scenes, I'm Gaddafi Wells. Have a good night.